Come and lie down on your back, on your bucks. Grab my... Okay, all the way down, and then take your feet out to the side and try and let the knees roll in so you get this internal twist through the eyes. Place your hands on your belly, close the eyes, take a big breath in and a big breath out. If you like, that breath out can be a really loud sigh out. So just using these first few breaths to really shift air that's sat in the lungs. So big sigh out. Really feel the lungs deflate. And then on the flip of that, they're going to really inflate. You breathe a big full breath in and let it go. So you're really trying to create a shift through the chest. You can let that movement travel down to the hands. So there's a rise and a fall for the belly. And that movement beneath the hands into the belly is kind of massaging the contents of the tummy. So it's massaging the digestive system. Sometimes carry a lot of tension in the front of our hips if we're sat all day or we're crumpled up and we don't really get the chance to open out through the front of the body. So use your breath just as a chance to start moving through the front of the body there. Take another big breath in. And big breath out. And then just reach your hands round to the backs of the thighs. Bring the knees into the chest. Squash them in nice and close. Keep your right hand on your right knee, left hand, left knee. And opposite knees, just draw big circles. So each knee moves independently, not moving them together, but really rolling the hips in their sockets. So you massage now into the front hips. There's going to be a little bit of movement around the sacroiliac joint, the base of the sacrum. Not much movement there, though. It's a tiny amount, maybe I think it's something like 2 to 4 meters. So it's super tiny. And then go the other way. And really most of the movement is caused by muscular contraction, a slight shift. And then bring the knees together. Just go one knee in one direction, one knee in the other. So kind of challenge your mind a little. Think about the coordination there. Bring them back together. We'll pause, go the other way. Back to stillness. Soles of the feet to the sky. Reach for your feet or for your ankles. Happy baby. Have a bit of a rock and a shift around. You don't have to stay still. You can if you like. It should be quite warm now into the front of the hips, and maybe you can try and stretch the heels away. Lengthen the backs of the legs around the base of the hip, lower back. And then cross your legs, rock up to a seat. So catch yourself in a seated position, sit nice and tall. Just rest your hands onto the knees. Take a big inhale, lift your chest forwards. You can keep the eyes closed if you like. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Exhale, arch and round through the spine. Inhale, rock forwards on the seat bones. Open the chest, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, pull in through the waist, arch and round. Go for one more breath. Lift up through the chest, slide the shoulders up and down. Exhale, arch and round. And then neutral position, just take your left fingertips out to the side, reach your right arm up, lift taller than you think you can, and then take a side bend over to the left. So you get a big stretch through that right side. Whilst you're stretching over there, just move that right wrist around. So open into the right wrist. Maybe your fingers wrap in, or you can spread the fingers out, really mobilize into that wrist joint. And then just take it the other way. So take your right hand down, lift your left arm up to start with, and then lean over to the right. And then once you've got that lean over, just have a wriggle through the wrist. Maybe open the fingers out. And then bring that back up to center. Take both hands behind the lower back. Interlace fingers, open across the chest, nice and broad across the collarbones. If you like, look up, but it's plenty to look forwards. Squeeze the shoulders down. Really find that strength in the back. So active, pull the shoulders down and let that open the chest. And then release. Come over to all fours, hands and knees. And from all fours, keep a neutral position through the spine. So keep a long line through the spine, reach the crown of the head slightly further forwards, pull the waist in slightly more, and then take your right leg back, just reaching the right heel away. Try not to shift too much. So you're not leaning to the left side. Take your left arm out in front of you. Opposite arm, opposite leg, and we're just going to hold that. Wake up the muscles that stabilize around that left hip and the right shoulder for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left hand down, place your right knee down. Simply shift to the other side. Left leg goes back without a huge bias and a sway over to the right. Take your right arm forwards, lengthen. Holding there, in through the waist, down through the left hand, firm down into the right knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, left knee down, toes tucked, take it back into downward facing dog. Big stretch down the backs of the legs. Have a pedal through the feet, shake out, hips side to side, knees bend, maybe the ankles lift, or really exaggerate one bended knee, one straight leg, and hold it for a breath. And then other side, one bent knee, right heel pushes away, or opposite side pushes away. And then bring it back. From there, pushing into both hands. As you inhale, rise onto the ball of your feet. And as you exhale, stretch the heels back and down. Inhale, rise onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, stretch them down. Last one, rise and lift. Take it back and down. Bend, soften the knees. Walk your feet in towards your hands. Bring it all the way forwards and fold. Pushing the feet down, relaxing the arms. Roll the spine up to standing. Pull the waist in. As you round all the way up, reach the arms up and back. Trust yourself to slightly lean back. And then the reverse. So just round the body forwards. Let the body hang forwards and down. Just for one more like that. So it's a roll up through the spine. The waist pulls in. Arms go up and back. Push down into the feet. Lift open through the chest. And then bring it all the way down. And then this time hands can plant. Step back into downward facing dog. Pushing into the heels of the hands, all of the knuckles, all of the fingertips. Take your left leg up to the sky, reach that left leg high. So you're stretching that left leg back. Try not to open the left hip, left side of the room. Keep the left hip, the left thigh facing down. And then bring that left knee into the chest and we hold it for 5. Crown of the head reaches forwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it up and back. Big breath in. Big breath out. Time it can come forwards and you can step. Bring the left hand inside of the left foot, rest your back down, point the back toes away, lift up to your fingertips so you're just a bit higher in the chest. Inhale, look forwards. And then exhale, you're going to round the spine and straighten your front leg. So you'd come into that hamstring stretch. You don't have to come all the way and force it back. We inhale, look forwards. Exhale into a hamstring stretch. Don't push it. Inhale forwards. Exhale, take it back. Inhale forwards. Exhale, slide it back. Go for one more forwards. And then slide it back, and we're staying here for a few breaths. Relax the head and shoulders. Pull the waist in. Toes draw back to the face. You walk your right fingertips out to the right side so they come off the mat, and then lift your left arm up to the sky. Big breath. Open across the chest. Lift up and away through the left fingertips. Almost lean that left shoulder back. And then slowly bring your left hand down. Come forwards, bend the left knee, place both hands down, step your left knee back next to your right knee. Both hands, both knees, look forwards, open the chest. Exhale, arch and round. Look forwards, open the chest. Exhale, arch and round. From that ridge shape, keep the waist pulling in, toes tuck. Lift back and up into downward facing dog. Strong through the back of the shoulders. So don't let your chest collapse away from the shoulders. Almost push into the shoulder blades. So you might feel that you're rounding a bit in the back, but forwards rather than dropping into the chest. Take your right leg high. Bring your right knee in and hold it. Crown of the head reach forwards. Pull the belly button in. 3, 2, 1. Big inhale, reach up. And big exhale, pull forwards and step. Place your back knee down. Right hand inside. Rise to your fingertips. Inhale, look forwards, open the chest. And then as you exhale, first want to sing how that right hamstring feels. Don't force, don't rush. Inhale, go forwards. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, go forwards. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, go forwards. Exhale, slide it back. You're going one more forwards. Bring it back and we hold. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back. Hold it there. Find that stretch down the back of the right leg. Pull the waist in. Relax the chin. Let the chin fall into the chest. Back of the long left fingertips. Left hand just walks off the left side of your mat. Reach your right arm up. Open the chest. Reach those right fingertips high. Feel that stretch all the way down the back of the right leg. The more you pull the toes back to the face, the stronger that sensation down the back right leg. And then slowly bring that right hand back down. Bend into your right knee. Take your right knee back. Point both toes. Inhale, look forwards, open the chest. Exhale, arch and round. Neutral through the spine. Just widen your feet out to the edges of your yoga mat. Toes are touching. My knees are out, so you feel quite stable. Take your left hand, one hand further forwards. So it's a little bit further forwards than my left. Take your right arm up to the sky, open across the chest, and then thread that right arm underneath and reach for the left side of the room. 3 like that before we rest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take that right arm under through. Inhale, lift. Exhale, under and through. And then this next one will be your last lift up towards the sky. And take that right arm under and through and rest to your right shoulder. Rest the head. Your left arm can either stay where it is or you reach the fingertips to the top of the mat. That gives you a bit of length into the left side of the body as well. Twist through the spine. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. One more breath. Exhale, rise back up. So push your left hand down and take your right hand this time a bit further forwards. Left arm lifts up to the sky, open the chest. Exhale, thread that left arm underneath the right arm. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, thread that left arm through. 3 more. I think there's going to be a lot of football fans in London tonight because looking out of the windows, the clouds do not look great. 2, 3, you can let one rest. So bring that shoulder down, rest your head. Majority of the weight should be in your left shoulder, not your neck. Reach the right fingertips forwards. And you're almost thinking of downward facing dog with your lower back. So you have this length up towards the tailbone. Breathe. With those right fingers forwards, it's a chance to stretch through the shoulder as well. And then right hand in and left hand. Tuck your toes, take it back into downward facing dog. Pushing hips nice and high. So now there should feel like there's plenty of space and length through the side of the body. Bend your knees, walk the feet towards the top of the mat. Bringing the feet so they touch, big toes touch, inner ankles touch, knees bend, arms up, chair. Flat chair, tailbone long, waist pulls in, lower ribs tuck in. So almost like you're, imagine you've got a crop top on, so shorter than my top now, and that's kind of where your ribs would finish. So if I roll my top up, it's about there. And I'm always trying to tuck my top in. So imagine my, you can stay where you are. Imagine my trousers are my abdominals and these are my ribs. And I'm always trying to tuck my ribs into my abdominals, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to close down that front part of the body so you're not, because when you flare the ribs out, if you see how my t-shirt's stuck out now, when you flare the ribs out, you put a band of pressure into the middle of the back, whereas if I tuck those ribs in, all of a sudden there's no pressure there, it's nice and long and flat. Fold it forwards. That was a long hold, sorry. Relax forwards and just give the head a little bit of a shake from side to side. Maybe hold opposite elbows. Just rock that out. 3, 2, 1. Take your hands down, step back into downward facing dog. Heels pushing away, hands pushing away, arms nice and long, legs nice and long. Reach your left leg up towards the sky, lift that left leg high. So stretching that left heel all the way up, lengthening through the back of both legs, and at the same time lengthening into the lower back. Bring your left knee in, see if you can silently step that left foot forward. So try and make it silent. Rise up, high lunge. Arms lift up. Pull the belly in. Make sure you're forwards on the ball of the back foot, so you're not overstretching that back heel away. Inhale, straighten the front leg. I'm still on the ball of the back foot. And go lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, go lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more lift. Exhale, lower, open into warrior two. So take the arms out nice and wide. Push down into the feet. Pull through the inner thighs. So as you're trying to push the feet down, almost trying to pull the thighs in towards the pelvis. So inner thighs are engaged and strong. Take your left hand and you just place your left hand inside of the left knee. Reach your right arm. So you create this diagonal line across the body. We've not leant into anything yet. I'm just pushing it against my left wrist to open that left inner thigh. Just trying to create some space. And then you can rest that left elbow and reach the right arm over. So it just sets you up for opening that left inner thigh. Hold for 3, 2, 1, rise up, straighten both legs and turn your left toes in. Fold the body forward, so body come all the way down, hands to the floor, crown of the head relaxes down. Push the fingertips into the floor, lengthen the spine forwards, reach the crown of the head away from you, and then exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, push into the fingertips, reach the crown of the head away, lengthen, and then fold. One more, push into the fingertips, lengthen away, slightly soften your knees, hold the spine where it is, so hold the back nice and flat, your arms out to the side of the room. So your arms reach out, take the load and the strength in the legs and the back. Bend your knees a bit more, rise all the way up to stand. Arms lift up to the sky. Turn your left toes back to the top of the mat. Take your hands all the way down. Left leg back up, warrior, not warrior anything, downward dog with your left leg lifted, sorry. Don't know where that came from. Reaching that left leg up to the sky. If you would like to, bend that left knee, open your left hip. You might just keep reaching that left leg up to the sky, that's fine, big stretch. 3, 2, 1. Step your left foot next to your right foot and close the eyes. Just notice how the left side feels compared to the right side for a moment before we rush into that next side. And you're staying where you are. I'm just moving so I can see you better. Push into your hands, push into your feet. Reach your right leg up. Lift that right leg nice and high. And this time when you bring the right knee forward, it's a silent step with the right foot. So we step that right foot forwards, rise all the way up. Arms lift on the ball of the back foot. You need your hips to be a good hip width, you need your feet to be a good hip width apart. If they're a tight rope, you're making life super hard for yourself. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend your front knee. So there's depth and a stretch through that left thigh. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go low. Inhale, lift. Exhale, go low. One more lift. And go low, then warrior two. Right arm forwards. Left arm back. Open out. Bend nice and deep into that right knee. Simply just take the right hand there to almost remind yourself to push that right knee out, open wide across chest. So go diagonal with the arms. Body can stay where it is, spine doesn't need to move, just opening across the chest. and then rest. The right elbow should now be easier to just let that left arm come overhead. Long stretch through that left side. Breathe. 2, 1, rise up. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes in. Arms stay out wide. See if you can fold with a flat spine. So you get about halfway when this is parallel to the floor and we're holding there. Now, if that feels quite stressful through the back of the legs, just have a slight softness to the knees. Reach your hands away from you overhead. So as if we were stood in a high lunge and you're reaching your arms up to the sky, but we're leaning forward. So your fingertips will be stretching to the side of the room. There should be a challenge in the back of the shoulders, and then fold forwards. Rest the body down, crown of head reaching to the floor, spine lengthening, shoulders soften. 3 big breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, 1, pour the weight into the toes. Inhale. Exhale, 2, allow the hips to lift. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Walk your hands around to your right foot and step back, taking your right foot up to the sky. So downward facing dog with that right foot lifted. Bend your right knee if you would like to open that right hip, or you stay with the right leg lifting up to the sky. As that knee bends, or whether it's straight actually, push that left heel down. And then step your right foot next to your left foot. Rest both knees to the floor. Walk your hands in. So there is a of the toes, so you get a good strong stretch through the soles of the feet. Close the eyes. Place your hands onto the belly. Take a big breath in, feel the belly expand. Big breath out, let it go. 3 more like that. Big breath in. Big breath out. 2 more. I know it's really tight through your feet, but it does you good. Inhale. And exhale. And then you can come off the feet, take the hands down, let the feet wriggle and relax, maybe pat them out if that feels okay. And then toes tuck, lift it back, head, neck lengthens. Breathe in. And breathe out and soften and bend. Walk the hands and the feet together. And then slowly roll through the spine, taking your time. And you're going to take your arms out to the side. So you're going to reach your arms out wide to the sides of the room, and they're going to stay there, so they're not going to fall forwards or go too far back, exactly out to the side. Bring your right knee into your chest. If you are quite next to the wall, you can always take the arms overhead. Similar idea. Pivot on that left hip. Reach your right leg back, keeping the chest open. So trying to keep a nice strong straight line across the back of the shoulders, down through the left foot. If you have got the space to take your arms out to the side, almost imagine you've got like a pole through the back of a t-shirt, you know, like you'd hang a scarecrow, and you're not allowed to let the hands come forwards. You've got to keep them back. Rise all the way up. Bring that right knee into the chest. Arms up to the side. Now see how high you can kick that right foot out in front of you. So it is a challenge in the right hip. 3, 2, 1. Step the right foot next to the left foot. Take the arms out. Bring your left knee into the chest. Lean it forwards as you kick back. Straight, strong line You might start to feel it in the shoulders a bit more on this side. Crown, the head lengthens forwards, heel stretches back and away. Breathe. If you wobble, that's okay. Just come back in and then rise to stand. Arms up to the side. Kick that left foot higher than you kicked your right foot. To find a bit more height. 3, 2, 1. Place that foot down. Let the body fold forwards. And just relax the head, the neck, the shoulders. If you have blocks, that's great. Have them to hand. If you don't have blocks and you're near a sofa or a bed, grab a cushion or two. We're going to come into pigeon, but it might just be nicer with blocks. Blocks or pillow cushions, or if you wore a jumper at the start of practicing, you've taken that off, that will do the same job as well. So we'll start with pigeon on the left. Take your left leg high and then bring left knee to your left wrist, and your left shin cuts across the mat, doesn't have to be parallel. You're going to take one block and place it beneath, one block or one whatever you grabbed, place it beneath that left thigh. Your other is going to come the front of the right hip. So if I think most of you have probably seen this by now. If you know you're going, then just come down. But so one block goes behind that left thigh, and the other one, I'm going to fill this gap here. It's quite a big gap on me today, but so one goes here, and then when you lean forwards, it's not quite so far to lean to be able to rest a bit easier in that pigeon. If you have no idea where you're meant to be putting those blocks and it doesn't make sense to you, just come into your own pigeon. Might not convey well enough across Zoom. When you're in pigeon, I want you to think about coming down equally through both hips, so you're not tempted to lean your weight over to that left side. Instead, it's coming down quite evenly. So just think about maybe you have to shift that right hip a little bit further forwards. Pull the weight down through your elbows and forearms if that's where your contact is with the ground. Maybe rest your forehead to the back of your forearms or your hands to your mat. And breathe. Really breathe into the belly here. So think about the breaths that we did at the start of practice. Deep, big belly breath. And see if with the exhale of those, you can actually go a little bit further because you've made a bit more space. I'm going to hold us here for a little bit. So if it gets too much for you, then of course, just lift yourself out. You can meet us in a downward dog or rest in a child's pose. And then rise yourself up slowly. You'll just have to lift a little bit so you can take those bricks or whatever you used out of the way. And then when you step back, don't force that left leg straight really quickly. Give it time to stretch out, maybe even give it a little bit of a wriggle and make around. And it's a lot of flexion through the knee. So if we then just go and force that straight, it doesn't really do us any favors. Take your right leg up to the sky, and you're bringing your right knee to your right wrist and lie that shin down. So you have two blocks again, hopefully. One in front of the left hip, one behind the right thigh. I'm kind of propping myself up. You can see better on that side. It gives that hip somewhere to go. And then you're resting forwards. Pour down into the hips, into that right shin. Really giving the outside of the hips chance to stretch here. So when we first stretch, any kind of stretch, usually we hit the muscle first. So we hit the big muscle that stretches quite easily. And then the longer we hold it, or the more specific we get with the stretch, then we start to work around the joint itself. So maybe smaller muscles or more ligaments. Want to be nice and warm when you come into those deeper stretches so that you don't cause any little tears or irritations. Breathe big into the belly. If you need to come out of this a little bit earlier, then please do so you don't have to struggle and hold it. And then you can right up to the hands, slide your bricks out of the way. Place both hands down, step back, not forcing that right leg straight, giving it time to lengthen, giving the knee time to bend. And then just walk your feet and your hands together and have a seat. It was a bit dramatic. Place both feet down, a bit wider hip width, so my knees are bent. And you're going to sit nice and tall. Just hold your hands in front of you so you can either interlace the fingers or you just clasp the hands. And we're going to rock both knees over to the right. Try and touch that left knee down. Come back through center and take both knees over to the left. Try and touch that right knee down. What I want you to try and do is, if I go sideways so you can see, try not to roll all the way back and go through the movement. I want you to try and keep your seat as tall as you can as you go through the movement. So your hips have to work. You're really engaging the hips to lift them up. Oh no, it's raining really heavy. Lot of wet, soggy football fans. Okay, and then come back to center and just take the soles of the feet together, hold on to the front of the ankles, lift nice and tall, and then pull yourself forward. So reach forwards as far as you can go. Bow the head in. Try and push the outside edge of your feet together and push the knees out to the side. So you're kind of trying to push. Imagine this is a big circle. You're trying to push down to that connection point and out. And bring it forwards. Bow the head in. Big deep breaths. Two. And one. Slowly roll yourself all the way up. Just take your hands to the outside of the thighs, close the gap between the knees. If you do have a block, actually, have one to hand. We're going to use it in a minute. Roll all the way down. Now, if you don't have a block, you're just going to use your imagination. If you have a block, you're going to place it between the feet. So one block goes between my feet. Arms go overhead. So with or without a block, really. Inhale. If you don't have a block, you would just touch your ankles. If you have a block, you can take it. Lower the arms overhead. Lower the legs all the way down. And then lift the legs back up. Lift your block, place it between the feet or the ankles, lie the arm back down. When the block's there, we're going to keep the legs there. And then you lift up, take that block, lie the arms back overhead and lower the legs down. Squeezing inner thighs, knees, ankles. If it's too much for the lower back, don't go all the way down. Lift your block up, place it between the ankles or feet. Lie the arms down, and we'll go one more full round. Lift up, take the block, lie the arms down, stretch your legs away, and bring it back. Lift up, take your block between the ankles, lie the arms back down, and then just bend your knees and actually place the block between your inner thighs. So it will narrow your stance a little. I've got my block so you can see it's thin between my thighs. Feet together, arms down by the side. It's going to try and roll up into a glute bridge with that block there. So I have to engage through the inner thighs a little more. Might feel a bit awkward if you've got a heavy block, but just stick with it. Tailbone tucked under. Squeeze the inner thighs. Push down into the feet and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll it back down. So it becomes more of an inner thigh exercise than hamstrings and glutes. Now take that block out and notice the difference when you take the arms down by the side and lift your hips up. Squeeze the glutes. Push down into the feet. That should help you feel it in the hamstrings, backs of the legs. If you can't feel it, grip your toes to the yoga mat. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll it down. Nice and slow. And bring both knees into the chest. Gentle rock from side to side. Take your left leg all the way over your right leg, like you're crossing your legs on a chair. Just going to move my blocks out of the way. So legs are crossed, and then you're going to let both knees fall over to the right hand side. So arms go out wide and both knees go all the way over to the right. So the big twist through the spine. Now, you've got that leg left over. I don't know if the words came out right. Your left leg wrapped over. You might double bind so that your feet and ankles are also twisted. That might not make sense across Zoom. So just enjoy a big, nice stretch through that left side, but you can double bind with feet and ankles if you like. It's like an eagle leg. And then slowly bring that back to center. Just release. You might need to shuffle the hips back to the middle of the yoga mat. Take your right leg over your left leg. And then let the knees fall all the way over to the left. Maybe you double up the feet. Big twist through the spine. All the way around the right hip. Relax the right shoulder down. And then slowly unravel. Bring that back to center. what we will actually do, I think most of you have blocks. If you don't and you just have a cushion, you can use that now. We're going to come up. If you have, we're going to do a big opening to the chest. So if you have blocks, one block is going here, just between my shoulder blades, and the other block, so then I lie down onto that one, and the other block goes beneath my head. If you don't have blocks, you're just going to place a big cushion or something below the shoulder blades. And if it's a cushion, you won't be so high, so your head can just rest to the floor. Then take the arms out and let the legs go long. So my legs and my lower body are totally relaxed. In fact, I'm going to let my feet roll out to the side. And there's a big lift across the chest. So lots of space through the rib cage. Palms are faced up, so there's space into the front of the shoulders, into the pecs, into the chest, and you want the rib cage to stretch open around collarbones, the sternum, the chest. And where the hips touch the floor, that's one contact point. Your next contact point is up on that first yoga block. So there's actually enough length through the lower back as well. You have this chance to stretch through the lower back. If it gets too much, then just lift yourself off slowly. If you're okay here, we're holding for a few more breaths. Take another 2 more big breaths in and all the way out. In and all the way out. Then you just want to carefully lift yourself up off those blocks. And when you roll back down, should feel like there's a nice amount of space through the lower back. If you want to have soles of the feet together and knees out, that's the opposite way to how we started. Or if you'd rather just keep the legs extended in more of a Shavasana, then you can. Hands either on the belly or down by the side. Eyes are closed and shoulders soft down into the yoga mat. A few breaths like we started, a big inhale and a big sigh out. Again, just making sure that we really get a good exchange of air going in and out of the lungs. So it's a powerful breath. Just need a couple more breaths there. You decide. And when you're ready, find a more easy, relaxing breath. Hopefully still noticing a fair amount of natural movement in the chest and the belly. And a lot of work through the hips and the inner thighs. So just allowing them to totally relax. And just start to become aware of the sound of your breath whilst you're led there. Maybe making it a little bit loud as you wake the body back up. And a little louder still. And just take some movement to the fingers and the toes. You can bring the knees in together if you had the knees out, or if they were long and stretched, then bring one knee in at a time. Give yourself a hug in. Little bit of movement and roll up however is best for you, either rolling all the way up or just lying over to your side, lifting up. Sitting with a nice tall spine, relaxed down through the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the hands. Relax down through the hips, the knees, the ankles, heavy into the seat. Take a big breath in, reach the arms up to the sky. Big tall breath, as much height and space as you can, and then exhale, bring the hands to prayer heart center. Thank yourself for making time to come and practice this weekend. Nice little way to close out the weekend. Enjoy the football tonight if you're watching it.